Oregon State University College of Engineering Dean Scott Ashford testified before a U.S. House of Representatives subcommittee on the need to begin preparations for a major earthquake now. Impending Cascadia earthquake, he says, will take 50 years to prepare. Developing the resilience to withstand a massive earthquake along the Pacific Northwest Cascadia subduction zone is the responsibility of public agencies, private businesses, and individuals, and that work should be underway right now, Oregon State University Scott Ashford has advised congressional leaders in Washington, D.C. It will take 50 years for us to prepare for this impending earthquake, Scott Ashford, Kearney professor and dean of the OSU College of Engineering, said in a testimony before the U.S. House of Representatives Subcommittee of Economic Development, Public Buildings, and Emergency Management. The time to act is before you have the earthquake. Everybody needs to take some responsibility and start preparing now. Recent research on the new Madrid fault line indicates the risk of earthquakes is much higher than previously thought in this major seismic zone that spans 7 states, including Illinois, Indiana, Missouri, Arkansas, Kentucky, Tennessee, and Mississippi. Ashford is an international expert who has studied the impact of subduction zone earthquakes in much of the Pacific Rim, including the devastating 2011 quake in Japan. The focus of the hearing was planning and preparing for seismic hazards in the Pacific Northwest. The region is vulnerable to the threat of a mega 9.0 magnitude quake, which Ashford urged the committee to support 3 federal initiatives. Investments in more resilient transportation networks that will be critical to rescue, relief, and recovery efforts following the natural disaster and required for the economy to recover following an earthquake. Partnerships with states to require seismic resilience of federally regulated utilities that transport liquid fuel through pipelines and that supply the majority of a state's population, such as in Oregon, and investments in applied research to ensure that taxpayer dollars are used the most effectively as private companies and the public and local state and federal agencies work to improve resilience to an eventual massive earthquake. So this isn't just about a Nostradamus prediction, and this isn't in relation to the hype of the movie San Andreas, and this is not some psychic prediction. This is an actual expert making this prediction and telling Congress that it's going to take 50 years to prepare. The article again goes on to say that business and governmental leaders in Oregon have begun to prepare for a megaquake. The Oregon Resilience Plan, which was completed in early 2013, outlines more than 140 recommendations to reduce risk and improve recovery from a massive earthquake and tsunami that is anticipated on the Cascadia subduction zone. And in 2014, the Governor's Task Force on Resilience Plan implementation by Ashford submitted to the Oregon legislature to a comprehensive program to save lives, mitigate damage, and prepare for a costly, life-threatening disaster that is seen as both catastrophic and inevitable. And again, if we keep fracking around, we can expect that 50 years to be cut in half. The House subcommittee wanted to know what our task force had learned in Oregon through the Oregon Resilience Plan project and how our recommendations can serve as models to help other states, Ashford said. Oregon State has also established the Cascadia Lifelines program, a research initiative to help improve critical infrastructure performance during an anticipated major earthquake. Partners in the program include public agencies and private utilities such as Portland General Electric and Northwest Natural Gas. The agencies are working collectively on this issue. Orchestrating the actions, agendas, and investments in research of different stakeholders is a big step in the right direction. More research is needed. Of course, more research is needed because more money is needed to determine how best to identify and mitigate problems stemming from a massive earthquake. In other words, they cannot predict when the earthquake's going to happen, but they just need a couple pocket holes to put everybody in case it does. OSU research helps quantify the risks and determine how, in Oregon, we can address those risks. We can't simply replace all of our existing infrastructure. We may need to find ways to retrofit, replace, or repair things quickly after an earthquake. One thing individuals can do do is to establish an emergency plan and keep on hand enough provisions such as food, water, and medicine to survive up to 14 days without outside aid. In a major quake, many roads will likely be inaccessible and power could be out for weeks or longer. Ashford said, people are going to be on their own a lot longer than previously thought. So there you have it. More earthquake news. And by the looks of what it looked like last night, I don't know how people in California sleep at night. It was sparking up the entire state, and no place else in the entire world is lit up like California.